Yeah, the hardest part is the beginning, is
Yep.
the starting. Because similar how you started running, I started ending my showers with freezing cold water. So all the way to the coldest. And in the beginning, I only lasted, a few seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Now, I don't even think about it. I know it's going to suck and I know it's going to hurt. I just don't even think about it. I just boom and then spend 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes there. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Driven. In today's episode, we're going to be discussing about everything being your fault, especially with the new year coming up. People have New Year's resolutions, and technically, your success and your failures is your fault.
Yeah. And so for those that don't know us, my name is Juan. This is my brother Alexis. And in 2019, we started a business, a pre-cut film company that currently does over $3 million a year in revenue. And at least up to that point, I feel like we have a good idea as to what we're talking about.
Yeah. How I mentioned, a lot of people have goals, which we have also goals in the business and in our personal life too, especially moving forward, health being one of them, losing weight.
Yeah.
And at least for myself, I'm talking about myself. I gained a lot of weight. I think I gained 35 pounds extra weight. So similar in a way when we're talking about working out with some of the people, the boys.
The boys
in the warehouse. We're talking about, because there's gonna be a bet. There's gonna be $1,000 bet.
Yeah.
Where they're gonna see who could bench press the most, and winner gets $1,000, and then the loser loses $1,000.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about who's the fastest, how we're gonna sprint. So yeah, I guess that's beyond the point. But there's a lot of talk about exercise and fitness and whatnot, and for me, I've always wanted to lose weight. It's just I haven't lost it because it's my fault. Because I like food and I like sugary stuff. Not necessarily sugary stuff, but it's desserts, sweets, unhealthy stuff, addicting stuff. And it's 100% my fault. Yeah. 100% why I haven't lost weight.
No, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so for those people that want to start a business, want to lose weight, want to do something coming 2025, because I know how I mentioned that a lot of people, they have New Year's resolutions. My New Year's resolution is maybe I want to start a detailing business, a window tint business, PPF business. I want to start drop shipping, e-commerce, whatever it is. A lot of people have those goals, but why do you think some people hit it and other people don't?
I think, and I've talked about this with a particular individual. And it's because you're not fully committed. Because from our experience, there's never been like after the new year or after this certain date, I'm gonna commit to it. Yeah. It never happens. In the end, it never happens. You were gonna say something.
Yeah, we don't have to wait until the new year for us to start something or commit to something.
Yeah. So for example, let's say, you know what, I've reached the breaking point. Let's say today, and for whatever reason, I'm 100% committed. Now I'm fully motivated. Like today, that's at the point that you're gonna make the switch. It's not because the new year is gonna come. Because you're gonna start the first few days. Maybe not even the first few days. Maybe just the first day, and you're like, I stop at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So it usually starts when you, whether it be reaching a breaking point or whether you finally realize and understand that you actually need to make that commitment to whatever it is. Like, for example, running. It helps me not gain weight, and so I could have said that I'll start next year, and to start running. But I don't know. I think it's just a habit. I think I just built a habit.
Yeah, the hardest part is the beginning, the starting. Because similar how you started running, I started ending my showers with freezing cold water. So all the way to the coldest. And in the beginning, I only lasted a few seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Now, I don't even think about it. I know it's going to suck and I know it's going to hurt. I just don't even think about it. I just boom and then spend 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes there. I started doing that, and I've been doing that for a couple of months. I think about going half a year into it. So the hardest thing is going to be the beginning. But going back to what you were saying about not waiting until New Year's, because a lot of people do that. I used to do that back in high school too. When I said I was going to, gain muscle, get buff, I wait until the New Year's resolution. I'll get my gym membership, go there. I go for a month and a half. I miss a day because it was raining or because I got sick. And then I stopped missing a day. And then you tell yourself, oh, I'll just wait until the summer and then I'll start working out again. Summer comes, you go for a month, you end up quitting. Oh, I'll wait until fall comes. And then the cycle repeats. You're going to prolong it. You're going to say, I'll wait until my birthday. I'll wait until the New Year's. I'll wait until the summer. And it never gets done. So,
no, definitely. And I think one of the things that we try to do is we try to attribute the fault to something else. One of them, I think the biggest one is I don't have time. So for example, I don't have time to work out. Like actually, I started working like at a job, or I started working more. I don't have time. I don't have the shoes. I don't have the place, and this is one of the things for me, like I don't have a place per se to run now. So what I'm going to do is now I'm just going to run from my parents to my parents to back to where I live. That's what I'm start doing. I could have come up with the excuse of I don't have a place to run now. I'm just going to run in the street. Yeah. Shoes, same thing. Like I don't have running shoes. I just use the shoes that run from work. I don't have time. The thing is, I think we all have the same amount of time. It's just what you choose to prioritize your time with. For example, if you have, just look at your TikTok analytics, the time you spent on it. And then you'll see like it's probably hours a day. And when you combine that to a week, so you have the time. It's just what you choose to do with it. And so everything really is your fault. Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think, if you take on that mentality that everything is your fault, then that means that outside circumstances aren't a reason why you can't. Because if you think that's this fault, that's that fault, that's their fault, that's so and so's fault, that means that it's not your responsibility. So there's nothing you could really do about it because it's not your fault. It's something else. So if you take on the mentality, you know what, it is my fault why I gain fat. It is my fault why I'm not running. Then at least with that mentality, then that means there's something you can do. Like the example that I gave with the running, I don't have a place to run. No, I don't have shoes. You can say I don't have the time with the amount of time I work and the amount of time I spend with family. Because that's really all I do. There's nothing else that I do. I don't even go on social media. Like if you look at my TikTok, it's minutes, maybe a day, like 10, 15 minutes a day. And maybe that's when I'm in the restaurant. But then even in the restaurant, I'm probably like looking up just, the different softwares that we could use for Amazon and analytics. And so, I look at that, well, at the time that I come home, like, what do usually people do? They, go on their phone, just go in the restroom, all this and that. I just go to the restroom really quick and then I just go ahead and run. Like, I don't even think about it. Like, so even at that 10, 15 minutes, you still have the time. It's just what you choose to attribute it. It's not like you're 100% doing something 100% of the time. It's just you just do what it is that you want to do in that time. And then, there's going to be probably other things that you may need to do, not need, but that might need to be done. But you might probably have to push them toward the end. And I think you just have to prioritize. But I guess just going back to having that mentality of it ultimately is your fault. And I think that mentality of everything being your fault, that means that you could do something about it. And I think that frees up your mind to be able to think about what it is that you need to do in order to get it done. Because, if you say something else is the fault, then I feel like that's a mentality as to why some people are not, let's say, happy where they want to be.
Well, yeah, not just that, because there's a lot of people who actually have obstacles. Because I've seen some people that they lose a limb, they lose an arm, they lose a leg, they still work out. They find a way. And they have more of an excuse to say, this happened to me, so this is the reason why I'm not gaining muscle. This is the reason why I'm not losing weight. This is the reason why stuff isn't happening for me. Car accidents, disabilities, you sprained something. There's going to be stuff that really is out of your control, but certain people are always going to find a way to just push through it, regardless of what happens.
Yeah. And I do really believe that having that mentality of everything that happens is your fault. I think that's the best mentality, because I think that's the mentality that we've had in our upbringing. I've heard people, and I'm pretty sure you've heard people say that, it's because of where we grew up in, or it's because of the I hate this, like the white man, like they grew up rich, or they grew up with certain privileges. So if you have that mentality of, they already have this, and it's not necessarily your fault, it's because they're already way ahead. I think that's a terrible mentality, because then that's like, well, there's really nothing you can do. So why even try? But we never had that mentality.
Nope. It's like, okay, so what? So what if we didn't have anyone to guide us through business? So what if we didn't have a rich uncle? So what if we didn't have all this lined up for us to be successful? Or like, I mean, it is what it is, and we're just gonna do it.
No, definitely, and you see the difference, no?
Right.
And I don't like in no gloating or anything, but the difference of us and the people that we grew up with.
Yeah.
There's a huge a huge difference, and I generally do believe that the mentality was the main factor.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's really some people grew up in better positions. Some people grew up smarter than us.
Yeah.
Some people grew up, with a lot of more advantages. But I think it was a mentality that, we felt in life insurance. It wasn't because of the system. It wasn't because of the leadership. I mean, you could argue, but then it's like, okay, what good does that do you if you use leadership as an example as to why you failed? No, we didn't do the activities that were required in order to succeed. Maybe it wasn't the guidance, but ultimately you could have, if you really wanted it, being proactive of getting it. Same thing with Forma. Mm-hmm. So everything that did happen is our fault.
Yeah, because at that point, if you say, like the example you gave, it's because of leadership. At that point, you're giving control over your life to someone else. And then you yourself, you're going to start feeling hopeless. And I think that's where the victim mentality comes in. Like, I'm oppressed because of the white man. I'm oppressed because I grew up in the hood. We grew up in the... perfect example. We were born in Mexico. We didn't have a social security until DACA. Yeah.
Oh, well, we have a social.
We have a social, but we're not allowed to travel, and we can make that excuse. Other companies, other e-commerce companies, they have an advantage to us because they could fly out of the country. They can be manufacturers. We can't. So we could easily make that excuse, play victim to ourselves. But in the business world, or just in life in general, no one cares. These guys, they say they can't go. So okay, so what? These guys can make it, so what? So whatever happens, whatever advantage you have, so what?
Yeah, no, 100%. And so, and so I see the difference, and I think that has really shaped in the way that I think that, the difference between us and maybe the others, people that we grew up with. And it really, that's the thing. I don't know why I keep coming back to it, but it's really the only thing that I see the difference in. Because there's people whose relatives had businesses. But then, like, we up to this point, which is bad, we don't even have any real connection. Business connection. We don't have any strong business connection. But I think it's because everything that happens, even like, let's say maybe we had some bad hires, right? Mm-hmm. You could say that, they're bad. But it's who hired them. Yeah, who's training them? Who's ultimately making that decision? Maybe you put someone in a leadership role that maybe they shouldn't have been. You could argue that he's not good at it. She's not good at it. But then who put him there? Yep. Why are you still keeping them there? Yeah. So you could always bitch and moan and complain about these people not being good, but it's like ultimately who's responsible for that. And I think that really helps with coming out ahead. And I think, like how you said, that's why for example, going back to the very beginning, unless you have something else to add. No, one of the things I will say is that it's a skill, just like and I'm a believer that anything is a learned skill, because I know that right now the mentality that we had, at least for me, there was hints of it when I was in high school, when I was growing up. There was hints of it, but it only got more it only increased the minute I started telling myself, yeah, it really is up to you. Like, if I'm not losing weight, it's because you continue eating. And really, it is. And granted, excuse, but it's because I'm comfortable. It is because I'm comfortable. Yeah. But it's the minute that, my health is going down. I can't even run. When my kids start growing up, I'm not going to be able to walk with them. I'm not going to be able to run with them. Like, at that point, and that goes, you got to get to your lowest for something to happen, for something to change. Yeah, no, definitely. And like to the beginning, like why most people don't, I guess, commit or, after the new resolution and whatnot, is because I think the mindset doesn't shift. There's no shift in the mindset. There's no change in the mindset. It's just wanting to do something because of a certain date. But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't do anything. I think your whole mind shift needs to change as to, this is 100% your fault. Let's say, I don't know, you even like in things that you think that are not your fault. Like, for example, this, I was on the plane and it crashed, or it's crashing, and so it's not my fault, it's not me. Well, technically, I mean, maybe you could, work hard enough, get rich, buy your own private plane, put what do you call it, those parachutes. Why didn't you do that? So technically, it is your fault that you're going down in a airplane crash. Same thing with a helicopter. Why didn't you get rich? Like, it's your fault. Like, anything that you could think of, you could pretty much attribute it to yourself.
Yeah.
Except maybe the sun exploding, right?
Yeah. Well, because different examples is you getting robbed.
Yeah.
So, for example, I know that some people, they wonder why and this is just way out of the, off topic, but so there's this YouTube channel. I know you used to watch it too. I think it's called Tactical Something, where they review footages of them getting robbed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are getting robbed, but then you see, okay, so what's happening that they're getting robbed? Well, they're going to the bank at 3 a.m, 4 a.m. They're maybe driving in a nice car in a neighborhood they shouldn't be doing it. So, okay, so if you got robbed, yes, technically it's out of your control because maybe you were at the wrong place at the wrong time. But my point exactly. You probably shouldn't be withdrawing from the bank at 3 a.m. You probably shouldn't be out at 3 a.m. in the wrong neighborhood.
So it's kind of your fault.
It is your fault.
Instead of doing that, you go, at midday where there's security. If you're withdrawing, or you go to the bank, you go there, so you decrease your likelihood. But ultimately, it is your fault. Same thing. Why didn't you grow? Why aren't you, I don't know, rich enough to have and this is just goes to, if you think of most situations.
Because there are some instances where it's just out of your control.
Yeah.
Like a plane falls down.
The plane falls down? Well, why didn't you grow rich enough? Why didn't you buy a parachute? Why?
Right here in the warehouse.
Huh?
Right here. We're in the warehouse.
Yes. That one. Yeah. It technically is out of your control. Yeah, because then you can't plan for 100% of the things.
Yeah.
Not so definitely.
Yeah. Nuclear war happens where the U.S. gets attacked. Boom.
Yeah. The sun explodes.
Explodes.
The weather. Let's say there's a hurricane or tornado. I mean.
But even then, you probably have warning, and then you could just do something about it. But yeah, certain things I know that like catastrophic where.
That you had no control of. There's nothing you could have done. Nothing. Like nothing. Like the sun exploding. Now, we're not that technologically advanced to be able to move right now, right? And within giving your certain life time frame, there's really not much you can do, per se. Okay, in that situation, yeah. But outside of those very rare and unusual circumstances, everything technically is your fault.
Mm-hmm. Your success, your job, your health.
Yep. And so if you attribute everything to yourself, not to the time that you don't have, not to the people that don't really even think about you, not to anything. If you attribute everything to yourself, which we did, and that's the thing, I feel like the reason why we're talking about it like this is because that's the mentality that we had, and that's the mentality that is one of the reasons why I feel like we're in a better position than some people. And it's because everything that happened was like, we didn't complain when we failed. Like, we didn't blame anyone.
No.
It's like, fuck,
we're
done. We're done. We're done because, we didn't look at the numbers. We didn't do the activities that were needed in order to, generate sales, generate business. Yep. So, and I think that was really good. I think that's something that I think most people should do is have that mentality of everything that happens is your fault.
Yep. Because I think that's also a good reflection. Like, for example, us, now we look back at our first business and we see why we failed. It's our fault. Okay, what did we do wrong that caused us to fail? And then you're just going to start learning from that. Same thing. Why am I not losing weight? Oh, shit, it's your fault because you're still eating 5 tacos every Friday with medium horchata. And then Saturday, you're eating a burger for breakfast. And then Sunday, you're eating what you shouldn't. Okay, so I'm not losing weight because of this. And then also I'm not losing weight because I'm not running. I'm not exercising. I'm not doing what I'm supposed to. So.
No, definitely. So essentially, the gist of it is everything that happens to you is your fault.
Yeah.
And it is. And like how we started off in the beginning, that why most people don't, let's say, hit their New Year's resolutions, or It's because I think partially it's also because of the mindset that hasn't changed. It's just, wanting something at a random time frame. It's a lot of it is the mentality that has to come along with it in order to actually make that change. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, other than that, do you have anything else on this topic?
No, because it's going to go into a different topic. But one thing I will say is that I know easier said than done. But one of the things I always tell myself is that if it's within my control to change something, then why am I going to worry about it?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's out of my control, the sun explodes.
Yeah.
Why am I going to worry about it? I can't do anything about it. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So you have control of your life.
No, definitely. But yeah. But with that being said, you don't have anything else. I don't have anything else. This was another episode of Driven. My name is Juan.
My name is Alexis.
And we'll see you on the next one.